Do 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 do. Shit, I gotta change the game. Uh-oh. Why not? Gonna show up. There it is. Look at the screen. Super Mario Man. Mario Mushroom, Luigi Mushroom, Coin, Waluigi, Princess Peach, Bowser, Grass, Rainbow Road. I like that one. I'm so fucking tired. This feature not supported at this time. The fuck? Why'd you have it? Team sheets. Level scaling. Level equals highest level minus 3 plus party slot. Capped at your highest level. Nuzlocke. 1 catch per route. If any captures can't be used anymore. I'm gonna do my own little special. Whoa, what is this? My own special Nuzlocke. Doot doot doot. Professor Alvin Gad. Who? Egad. Reviewer of the Shortening Mind. That's bright though. Many of these. I thought, oh, you'll find out shortly, don't worry about that. No, let me introduce some fine young lads. Oh lord. Now they have the Cappies. These two are called Mario and Luigi. They're the unlikely plumber heroes of the Mushroom Kingdom. You'll be experiencing this journey through the eyes of Mario. But what's your name? Yes, you, the one reading this. The girl reading this? My name is Bobby. Bobby. Bobby, yes. You're Bobby, eh? Well met then, Bobby. Alright, are you ready? It's time to venture out into the Mushroom Kingdom. Make sure to come see me in Toad Town. I love this song. Of course the mushroom CLS. A fun fungus that restores HP. A fun guy. The switch? Nope. Luigi's key to happiness. One always have a goal to work towards. They don't know how to talk! This isn't in minion language. I always have a goal to work towards. Remember the sad times as much as the good times. Tell everyone you love them. He's right. I hate Mario. JK. He's here. Adam, is the audio loud? Pretty loud to me. Unless it's a bit. Look, the sprite works pretty good. There's a very advanced ROM hack. Mail call. I'll get it. Dear Mario. God, I'm friends from other kingdoms. Wow. I've seen one Twitch streamer I follow play, and another also wants to. Which Twitch streamer? I saw Alforad play. You'll be over shortly to explain more. Have fun. Find the princess. Bro. Whoa, I didn't agree to this. I really don't give a crap about anything Mario. Me neither. Well, that's a lie. I like the Mario RPGs. And I'd probably like the mainline platformer ones, but I just don't have any interest in them. Finally able to catch on the Greg stream again. Holy shit, Hawk Moon. Come on, bro, let's go. Today's a good day. Damn right it is. Better than most, I will say. This yellow brick is pretty good, but this brown brick a little too sharp around the edges. I try to press Alt-3 to run faster. I'm too modern game brained. I kind of like the RPGs, but only from Let's Plays. I didn't finish the first one. Our brothers are going. Once we get through here, we'll be at Toad Town, which I think no time at all. Unless we don't have the ability to run. We were just on our way to Toad Town to see you. I'm not talking like them, okay? Koopa? Okay. I was going to wait for you to run Totem before I explained. I played the SNES Mario RPG with a friend, but the final boss was really lame to me, so I didn't want to finish it. It's a secret final boss. I arrived in Toad Town before I explained. Then I remember this pass was here. I can't have you two stomping on Koopas and Goombas and the such who are participating in the game. Not than today, by request of the princess, I will be introducing you to the Cap Challenge. We have Cappies. I don't like the look of Cappy. The game that you build a party of allies, they're two captors battle each other like baseball. No. This was just like baseball. Let's go ahead and get you and your brother started. What if instead of Italian, we were Dominican? Princess is putting on. I can only give a brief run here, but the princess will be explaining. Alright, Castle, why should we play, Professor? That's all he's hearing. Anyone know how to speak professional minion? My buddy really tried to get me to finish it, but I really didn't feel like it. You're like, fuck you, buddy. Now I feel bad for cooking my buddy. Why didn't he do it? If not because it will be lots of fun, but because the winner will be granted a wish. Did you hear the Mario? A wish. The music should have changed. But what did the Piranha Plant nothing have to do with it, Professor? Yeah, well, shouldn't we be killing them? I'm glad you asked, Luigi. Where's the Gad from? Which Mario game is he in? I know his name. Isn't it Luigi's Mansion? Contestants will be splitting into two categories: those who command and those who move. Ah, of course. Because the emulator was on my laptop and he knew even less about that stuff than me. Well, I guess I'm the only emulator genius in the world. I knew about that stuff since I was 7. You'll be competing in battles of strategy, utilizing your captured attack called moves. Here, the best way to learn is just jump right into it. You guys from Luigi's Mansion and Mario and Luigi's Superstar Saga, I was right. Go ahead, pick whichever one you like. Go ahead. You go ahead and choose a favorite, bro. I don't mind. Mamuevo. Actually, a hard choice. Yeah, I like the Inkling, but not as much as these two. Don't these guys spit fire too? So we have 2 fire types. I like Piranha Plant, but I also like the Bomb Bomb. And if he were to turn into King Bomb Bomb, I would like whatever. I like him more than whatever Piranha Plant would turn into. He'd probably be grass, water, fire. Oh my god, but Piranha Plant is actually mean. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by the toe. If it hollers, let it go. Ah, well. Problems are from little guys. Oh, we can look at the sprites. 2 round. He has the best sprite. I don't like that they had his eyes changed up. Would he be Fire Steel? I'm going with Bum Pum. What should be his name, guys? What should be his name? Bubba. Let's go with the classic. Bubba. Bubba. Oh my god, Luigi, you loser. I'll choose this one. Let's get along, Bitey. You. Are we doing double battles? Now begin. Uh-oh. Whoa, why are my arms like that? Okay, buddy, let's work together. He not ready. Chat. Do we do it? Captures. Summary. What am I? Bold? Lax? I gotta reset. Give him 5 big booms. Oranberry. So what happens if I do this? Do we both lose? Or does the battle end before I die? Isn't it just I lose? But I'm not even what? I'm not even an electric type. We lost. I don't have any shortcuts for speeding the game up. They removed his Oranberry so he doesn't beat us. Bro, you're really good at this. Holy moly. It'd be cool if we are a girl. Bubba is a girl. It'd be cool if we were the pink bomb bombs instead. 4 HP. Are we a tank? Tanky fire type? Shitmon alert. Ouch. You did amazing, Bitey. I beg to differ. Now then, in order for someone to be a part of your party, they need to wear a specially designed cap I've created. The members you chose already have them, but you're already going to need some more in the future. Here they're in the care package. Patent pending Tattle decks. As a quippy excerpt about them. Don't we love quips? Rid of my Joss Whedon. Now then, I suggest you two start heading with the cast as soon as you can. I'm playing by Baby Nuzlocke rules, by the way. When my Pokemon die, we don't use them anymore. That's the only rule. I can capture whoever I want and do whatever I want. Maybe even use items. Finally! Well, what's this input delay? Holy. Sounds good. Koopa T. Bubba. Get him, Bubba. What was that? R? Oh. He barely even has a tail. Do we one shot? He's faster than us? Bubba has a speed set of 10. Though maybe don't use HP regenerating items during battle. That usually leads to stalling, but everything else is fine. Maybe. I haven't used potions in a long time. I don't think my Pokemon almost never die. They only ever die when I just get like really lax and don't want to heal them. A turtle that is beyond loyal to the king. The bottom of its shell is made of a low friction material that allows it to slide across the ground. Where's the quip? Give a nickname to Koopa T. What's T for? Push a T. World 1-1. This is low-key making me sword jack a little. A lot of effort went into this. What you think, bruh? Hey, bro, you have your hammer on you? If you do... Oh... Dun dun dun. Now I know that's not who I think it is. Oh, look at this guy. Why do we all make the same noise? What? Legendary catch rate. What? I don't like Cappy, but I dig the idea that we use Cappy to catch them. Dun, 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 dun. We do get XP from capture. And angry. Okay, I think we have high HP and attack and special attack, but everything else is low. An angry yet powerless mushroom. Its reputation as a weakling is earned. It is said to be a traitor, abandoning unwary trainer that he met. Oh, he's like a regular. I just realized that the Goombas are regular mushrooms. And we eat colorful mushrooms. Give a nickname to Goomba. Fuck, what do we name him? How do we name him? I'm so bad with Pokemon names. I feel like I used to be better with them. Like nicknames. But now I can never think of anything like funny or witty to name them. Pal Patron. Who's angry? I would always name every grass type Pokemon Weed. When I was younger, I thought that was the funniest shit ever. But this is just who I am now. Who next? Do we have a... These are unbreakable. Toadette. I'm out here collecting flowers to sell back at Toad Town's market. I'm good to know. Yawn. Guarding the entrance is so relaxing. Thanks to you, of course, Mario. Nobody would ever cause trouble given your home is right past 1-1. Damn right. Bubba, why you are so slow, Bubba? Oh, he's not happy. Only 2 Pokemon here. Surely one of these is breakable. This is just regular Pokemon music, isn't it? Whoa, look at the merchant. Shaman has wares for the right people. You're not someone who can handle my worth. 1 power star? Mario, please help me. I want to try the cap challenge as well, but my grandfather won't let me. Well, what am I supposed to do about that? Oh boy, am I. This game does have quests. This seems like a pretty obvious quest, but I can't do it. I do have a Yoshi. He's right here. Nope, that's bag. We can switch the nickname whenever we want. Blocks critical hits. Up speed if suffering. Type normal. Fire normal. Is her name Average Toad? Me ship the seabird was kind of fiercest storm I'd seen. We spotted a beacon of light through the rain. It was a lighthouse, and it saved our hides that night. We moved it to like moss to a flame until we saw the lighthouse keeper frantically moving us away. He knew the danger of the rocky shore. He was trying to save us from being skewered. We managed to steer clear of the jagged rocks and found a sharp turn in a cove. We spent the night there waiting at the storm. Why did only one Pokemon game ever have a hard mode? Black and White 2. Like, why are they so averse to like game mechanics? Gamey mechanics. It's like how FromSoft is averse to stuff like that too. At least FromSoft is like making complete games. I went to the Think Lighthouse Keeper, but he had disappeared without a trace. We couldn't even find the lighthouse that guided us to the night before. You went for following the worm to hard so folks like you pushing good stories. Do I get a reward? Yeah. Can I get a fishing rod? Oh, every gym leader is a power star? No enemy? Because I was told to. We live in Princess Peach's dictatorship. The Odyssey? Z. Oh man, this is making me nostalgic. Pokemon is so fun as a kid. But it never is afterwards. Like, he's dead. He's dead. He died in his ditch. So the pipes lead to secret areas. Items? You like Super Mario Bros. 3? Yes. For the Game Boy Advance? Should have read that before I entered. Keep yourself safe. Wow. All the rumors of a crazy powerful capture is number 151. Oh? Skip grinding? I'll hold on. I'll hold off on that. Never mind. Actually, I should have held off on that until Bomb became that level. What's his music? warped them with an ingenious idea planned by Professor God with the help from Princess Peach. What does the mark look like? Who are you? Who is she? Do we have romantic options? Is Pauline here? How may I serve you? Okay, I've explored everything. I've been finding now explored everything. Super shroom. Baseball cap. One of these has something inside them. Dig? Or rock smash? We got nothing. We got absolutely fucking nothing. Any quests? I think we might have to start thinking of the worst case scenario there, Toad. Where's the chess pieces? Back in my fucking day, our Pokemon games used to be hard. Do we have infinite TMs? What is this input lag? Deef? Why the hell would I ever use that? Is chat working? Why my stupid phone never want to work right? Holy shit. My Pokemon get knocked out often because I'm stingy with items. T is for Trooper, I think. Makes sense. Troopa. Oops, I was never good with names. James. Stomping Koopas. I bet Y forgot to scroll the chat again. Now that sounds more Mario than Pokemon. Y, I miss having your attention. Can't believe this is my stream SMH. SMH my head. Can't believe this is my streamer. It's because YouTube chat on the phone sucks booty cheeks. Hey yo, did you finish Kazan? I did. Now I was gonna record my rant yesterday, but my roommate was home all day, and I got like cold feet, so I didn't want to do it. It's unscripted because do not want to bother myself. Oh man. Well, you made it to out to world 1 or 2, huh? From here on out, there will probably be other Toads itching charts out that's new. I'm waiting for it. Other Toads, it might come up today. Can we get a sneak peek? It's purely unscripted. Like if you like this, if you want a sneak peek, it's just the notes I'm gonna have for what I bring up. Dun, dun. Yeah, sure. Streaming Kazan was a humiliation ritual. Neo does stamina better. Boss variety. Difficulty, quote unquote. Definition of insanity. World design. I hate anime. This guy's moveset is crazy. Spells I'm running away and mages. Just the important stuff. A bunch of uncollected thoughts, and these are gonna help me so I don't forget an entire chunk of something I want to talk about. Humiliation ritual. It's sad. Cause like I want to be really mean to Kazan, but deep down I know that my reactions to it is the same reaction most people have to Neo. That being said, even with that perspective, and I plan on playing Kazan again, but actually like trying out everything, like doing all the side missions, and like trying out all the weapons and shit. But but beyond that though, there are like aspects of it that I think, like I think the same problems I have with Neo I'm gonna have with it, but just exacerbated because I don't like the combat system as much as I like Neo's. Like Neo's boss roster isn't amazing, but like I like the combat so much that it doesn't matter. Like I'm in mind, I just remember the good bosses, and I just really like just fighting anything. Whereas in Kazan everything was such a chore. Like, even though I really like the bosses, and like if the bosses were like had 10%, 20% less HP, they'd just be so much more funner. At the same time, you watch videos of people like who really know Kazan fighting. I mean, and then again, people who really know Kazan fight the bosses and like shred them. But then again, like, and if you really know Neo 2, you can shred the bosses, but like significantly faster. So I guess it just is like, yeah, blah 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 blah. Having only 3 weapons sucks booty cheeks though. If Neo can have like 12 weapons with like 3 different movesets for all of them, and incorporate all the billion weapon skills and the yokai skills, excuse me, I think Kazan could have done more. Hey Mario, have you used more hype yet? All you gotta do is go out and jump in and try with this one where it leads. So Sol, yes, any thoughts on Pokemon? Whoa, underground. How would anyone get lost in such a small space? Oh, I get it, they're probably wondering where I went off to here. Again, if I hear your party, would you leave me alone? I wasn't even damaged. Agree with all that, plus the game was ugly as hell. Yeah, that's what the I hate anime is a reference to. Like, I think to this day, I think the only Souls-like that look good is Liza P and the From Software ones. Even Liza P still has a bit of that like dolly gloss. I think is a little soulless. And I mentioned before, I think Lords of the Fallen, animation-wise, is really janky, but aesthetically, I kind of digged it. I really dig the armor sets. Maybe Bleak Face, whatever, it looks good. From what I remember, it looked pretty neat. And like Inotra and Thymesia look kind of like shit. Mortal Shell kind of looked cute, and so did Ashen. Buzzy Bee, are you a rock type? Uh-oh. Baba! Demon's Souls remake looks graphically really good, but the art style change doesn't jive with a lot of people. Yeah, it's very stupid. They made everything look worse. Like what they did to the I forgot, I keep forgetting what they're called. The politician guy, the fat guy. Like, what was even the point of that? Who is this guy? Oh, I forgot I'm level 11. Uh-oh. Get him, Cappy. I should have bought more of these. Living boulder with eyes and arms. It rolls around. Trampling plants and bugging its path in groups, it is known for a strong sense of camaraderie. I've never seen this guy before. Boulder. I hope I don't stutter a lot when I'm unscripted. Realistically, I could probably make a script and then just like, act it out, but that draining. But plus I want to see how it sounds like unscripted. I think that'd be fun. Vámonos. Vámonos. Let's go back. What? I'm lost. I am lost. Oh shit. We'll see. Oh, look. Shigeru. Are these guys from Odyssey or something? What will Bubba do? What was that? I'm paranoid now that the chat doesn't work. Will Mario change captures? No. Why would I go ahead and do that? I know this guy. Fuck, I made the game so easy by leveling to the level cap. Bro, this is a really complex level. Youngster Ken. Oh, they're not even changing the names of the trainers. Do you guys even learn new moves? And Trooper. You. He not ready. He not ready. Dude, what's wrong with you? Bitty blood? That's just didn't bloodin'? Oh yeah. Bang, bang, bang. This is where I entered. This one's blocked. Let's get back to it. Perhaps I should use the convenient emulation ability to speed up. Where's the blue guy? Was he a rare Pokemon? Do-do-do-do-do. There he is. That would have been awkward. Reminder, I am on Baby Nuzlocke rules. How? He's so strong. Why do I have 3 billion plumber caps? Buzzy Beetle? What do we name him, chat? A secluded turtle that lives in caves and sewers. Its hard carapace gives it fire resistance. Its sticky feet allow it to take refuge in ceilings. Pokemon Mario Onagati appeal. Well, I like Pokemon. And I think it's very high quality to have all these Mario assets. Mario version. I grew up on Pokemon. I wanted to play Mario games, but I was really bad at them. And also I just didn't have many of them. Tortoise. I was gonna play Neo 2, but then I forgot to download it. As a matter of fact, I forgot to delete Kazan too. So just a lot of mistakes being made today. Oh, we just skipped right out over. A lot of animations in this game. I think you should play more action games with minimal reading, chats, and minimal reading. Chat's a lot more active than. That's true. I feel like chat was pretty active during Velvet Deck though. Where am I? Where am I? You know what games I was thinking of playing? For the sake of my own gamer cred, and also because I want to make a video about action games. I'm gonna play the Devil May Cry games. I have them on emulator and in the remaster collection, which apparently isn't a good collection. An oversized insect. Plus, they're really short games. You can finish them in like a stream or two, each of them. Oversized insect is tireless work of using new trends were good to shoot, act like auction pups, hack and trash, shoot out like cups, and walk around clean ceilings. But they're so cool looking. They're basically sandbox games. You have to make your own fun, because the enemy design and level design isn't really gonna do it for you. And troopers. Oh. Captures. She's right up ahead. Thank you. Meow 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 meow. I will say though that I feel like Neo and Kazan and whatever, yeah, the ARPGs really want you to play a lot of action, and it's kind of mindless. But it's funny comparing that to actual action games, actual hack and slash games, and the gigantic difference in time. Like, you know, a Kazan playthrough, any ARPG playthrough is gonna get you like fucking 100 hours. But Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, Metal Gear, all the Platinum games, all the, you know, Capcom games, whatever, they're all like 10 hours. Become my Pokemon. I don't know about DMC 1 to 4, but the 5th game was so ugly. Realistic city backdrop was awfully designed. Demons running around felt like I was playing through a 2010 blank in real life video. Okay, but the soundtrack though. Swimp? Is this even a real Pokemon? He's obviously a steel type. If I use Ember, he just dies. It looks fine. Not good. Not great, but fine. Definitely not part of that more colorful fantasy Resident Evil horror adjacent appeal that the older ones had. But Band Kid Power Metal soundtrack made me mute the audio. You know what? I was a Band Kid, so I liked it. I didn't even play DMC 5, but I knew about. You know, I can only imagine what it felt like to see Bury the Light get popular. I mean, I knew that song before it was popular, before it became a meme, more specifically. I don't know, like, supposed to, like, wow. Just completely dog shit comment section now. Living Sidewalk. Swimp? Flint and Steel. Minecraft movie? Hello, Mario. Ooh, this is the sound they make in Mario 64. Bury the blight upon my ears. Nipper. What a peculiar name. I am the storm that is approaching. You don't think the edginess? I don't like the vocalists. They sound very kind of flat. They're good, but they're just kind of, I don't know. It's like what you find in like trailers for like For Honor. It's like the type of people that you know that song that's like, this is my fight song, take back my life song. Like those type of like anthems, those are what the vocalists sound like for DMC. It is known to walk around, leap into the air, and even breathe fire. Dude, it was so embarrassing when they performed at the Game Awards, and it sounded really bad. Beyond my soul, gotta let it out, gotta let it out. Berry juice. Dude, this fucking this encounter rate is surprisingly high. Photo. Solly, what do you think about Earthbound in the Mother game? If you ever played him. Photocap, Blue Sky Social. Is this real? Yoshi! Is Yoshi the Eevee of this game? Okay. He was. Oh. Do they have the same dialogue? Why? Beanie? These look like they'd be from the N64. I'm running out of hats. Play Graveyard Shift at Freddy's. Dude, I'm never playing anything FNAF or FNAF adjacent. This main must have attacked the trip prone charge. I enjoyed playing DMC5, but I can't deny the aesthetics and soundtracks were better in the older games. People say the older soundtracks are better, and I don't know. Maybe I'm too fucking modern. Maybe I'm too young. Or the little stuff I've heard, I haven't really agreed with. Free holiday. Never played, but interested in them because they inspire the spine-tingling, bone-tingling, quirky Earthbound-like genre. And you know what? None of them have done it as well as Earthbound 1. Not even Mother 3 did it as well as Earthbound 1. Mother 3's ending was very disappointing to me. Like, okay, Mother 3 is 10 chapters. The first 6 chapters are Kino. They're like, I was like, I felt something. I was like, this is gonna be one of my favorite games of all time. And then it just dropped the ball so fucking hard at the end. I'm like, wow. Wow. Like you get all these nice, quirky, interesting characters. Yay. And then after chapter 6, they all just shut the fuck up and stop talking. And instead we focus on Lucas and his brother, who don't talk. And we have to feel sad about them? We don't even see them throughout the story. You just have to you need to be a very empathetic person to like that game. That's a insult I use a lot. That's kind of evil sounding, but it's true. Dude, I think these are fake Pokemon. Wasn't Mario 3 like unfinished or something? I don't think so. Very finished. Like the translation? Like it never came out here? That would be the case. God damn it, do I not have any more? Fuck! Bite Skeeter. Alright, enough lollygagging. Princess Peach! Up to prep from your house in too long. I go yeah, maybe it might be a case of the Mandela. I think you're right on time. I believe the two of you have built a team. Bitey, Chuck, and Private. And we're going to win the cap. Alright. I fucked with the Family Jewels cover of Devil Trigger though. Family Jewels. I don't know. I've been a big fan of any of the YouTuber guys. I think they tried to do a cover of the SMT 4 song, the boss battle theme. And when they got to the riff, I only wanted to watch it because I wanted to see people do the riff from the song. And then when they got to it, the camera went to the fucking drums, and I'm like, are you joking me? Do you think I want to hear the fucking drums while the guitar is going off right now? What kind of shitter is going on here? React to the Mandela catalog. Let's just watch Skinamarink. Marty's wiser than the kindest leader in all the world. AP from the crowd, the kingdom, hold a power spell. So it's a race. Prefer you both. My guards have put together the patches to be both kingdoms. Oh, I should have said no. You're gonna drag me down, Luigi. Oh, I didn't even read the petition. Interesting. React to Mandela catalog. Let's just go watch paint dry at this point. I'm be with you guys. The best type of horror content on YouTube is the shitty photoshopped real life encounters, the hoax ones. Like every time I try to watch some like Nexpo video or like some Nightmine video about the secret cult in the woods, the secret cult in a dead video game, the Mandela catalog, the Walton files, it's just all so fucking bad. Like these people have no idea how to entertain, no idea of suspense, no idea of payoff, just random shit. They're carried by VHS aesthetic. The aesthetic is the only thing that makes people watch it. Like in a sense, you are watching paint dry, and the people that like it are the ones who like watching paint dry. There's nothing else to offer except the aesthetic. I don't know how. I have no idea how these channels ever got so much acclaim. Like SCP makes sense to me. What was the other thing that wasn't SCP? Creepypastas made sense to me. But this shit, this shit is ass. I don't want to talk to everyone anymore. Conspiracy videos, not conspiracy, theory videos like FNAF, lore videos, whatever, obviously make sense to me. But you know, all that shit. What? Okay. It's the whole point of Mandela catalog is suspense. The epic horror with no build up. Where do I go? It's terrible. None of them understand the aesthetic itself and how to immerse the viewer into a found footage setting. Chat, where the hell am I going, chat? That's what I'm wondering. I liked its progenitor, Local 58. I vaguely heard of that. But the rest are just such pale imitations. Maybe because watching a video about it doesn't have the same effect as watching it yourself. I didn't watch a video about it. I didn't even watch it. I've only seen clips of it. #1 clip watcher, #1 YouTube Shorts guy. I did watch the cult videos. Those suck ass. But you know, those aren't creative projects, so. What am I doing? Oh, these are the guys I'm fighting? Nope. Chuck. Koji. I want cheap. Although it goes way too out of the way to remind the viewer that it's not real, Walton File is just automatically out because it's terrible PNG staring at the screen. Also, why do they all have the same name? The something files. Well, so Go, can you say... How can you say you don't like it if you haven't given it a chance, Dewey Family Guy? Are you a Walton Files fan? Quesadilla eater? Do you like your horror? Do you like your horror burritos like you like your quesadillas? Just straight tortilla and cheese, nothing else. Wiggle. Baba! Chat, I want to just put it out there, bro. My brother owes me $160. And I wanted $160. No, I thought it wouldn't be crazy scary because it's FNAF fan fiction. What you say? Back in like 2015 or so, there was an internet horror series called Meat Sleep that was actually scary because the author presented it in a way that felt real, even got into legal trouble for it. Never heard of it. I'll have to keep that in mind. I want Spike. Before I forget, let me delete Kazan. I plan on replaying it like during the summer. I'm not replaying it anytime soon. Steam library. Sollies, have you heard of the new game, Claire Expedition 33? People are saying it's good, and I'm kind of believing the hype. I'm believing the propaganda. Kazan, why are you hiding from me, Kazan? Where's Neo? How much space is Neo? 76 gigabytes? I'm sorry, Neo. You are not getting downloaded. The first 2 volumes of MC aren't that good, but volume 3 and onward are way better. Of Minecraft? It'd be so funny if I just press self-destruct right now. Ouch. Mandela catalog equals MC. No, E equals MC squared. Was a huge rabbit hole. Also stories like Ted the Caver. I need to read that one. The OG. It was actually like good. People are like for it being the first quote unquote creepypasta, actually pretty good. Also story like Ted the Caver and Grandpa's Banker. The supplementation leads to much more interesting story. In general, I think creepypastas were of higher quality. Like even thinking about it, like the worst creepypastas were Jeff the Killer and Slender Man. But even those are at least like interesting, like a hell of a lot more interesting than the worst of the worst of the ARGs and you know, all that schlock. What was the game you asked me about? Claire Expedition 33. It's out now. This game. It's like an RPG, but like super animation. Seems interesting, and people, a lot of people are vouching for its story, and like it's like a sizable RPG. You know what, like. I'm interested. I'm vaguely interested. Also, it's not full price. It's $50 in this day and age. My English teacher was really scared of Slenderman. I look like Slenderman. Let's go, bro. Boom, 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 boom. I think the few original Slenderman stories and images were masterpieces, less enough to speculate, and it just being 2 images and a paragraph doesn't ruin the suspension of disbelief. True. The original images. Sucks how much horrors, not inherently, I think, but a lot of it gets worse when people try to explain it more. When anybody tries to explain it more, even its own author. The art style doesn't really jive with me, but I'll check it out. Yeah, it's realism. Oh, like, should I play it on stream? I'm like, no, I do not want to play another long game on stream. I don't know what it is. It just makes me impatient. I get really tired, and then I want to go non-verbal, as they say. Fuck! He's trolling me. How queer. You can't say that, sir. Hyper beam. Fuck. Oh my god. But I think I asked you before, but I don't remember your opinion on the Fire Emblem games. Fuck. That's what I meant. No, Chuck, you didn't get poisoned. Never mind. Alright, I'm bored. Send them out, send them out, send them out. Wow, wow. Vámonos, Yoshi, vámonos, Yoshi. It seems I'm on my last leg. I was like the old video game pasta, like Ben drowned the video at least. I think the story gets pretty bad. No, a lot of them are just terrible, like the Gmod ones make me want to K-Mess. Never play Fire Emblem, literally no opinion. That's better than Hatred. Although I don't think you'd, maybe, I don't know. Any opinions on strategy games, tactic games? I don't think you'd like any other stories. Wow, you guys have no strengths. I also like Ben Drown. I like all the Pokemon creepypastas. They're kind of dumb. I like them because they do feel like myths that are being spread. I feel like maybe it's because I was a kid, but I kind of believe them a little bit. You know, like the Pokemon Lavender Town, where if kids out hear the music died or want to kill themselves, and that felt more believable because of the fucking Pokemon Polygon seizure event. Like there was an attempt. Like, not that everything needs to have that attempt, but it just made them all the better. People hate Sonic EXE, and again, maybe it's because I was a kid, so I'm biased, but I liked Sonic EXE. That also felt believable. Because, you know, you can make games like that. You can edit them to be like that. Solius, check out the Fairy Tales analog horror. That is some dog water analog horror. Now, why would Solius want to do that? Am I healed? Not my cup of tea, but sometimes I try a few out, like Endless Space. Recently tried this game called Other Side for its premise and aesthetics. I haven't played it much. Never heard of either of those. Actually, I have heard of Endless Space, but I haven't heard of a... I don't know how it looks like. I'm just not completing the test. I hope Toadward didn't give you a rough time. My sincere apologies. Princess of Rhinos able to reach Master Mario and Master Luigi. What was that noise? Here he comes! The scourge to your eyes and nostril. The king of the Koopas. King Peach. I'm not good again, huh? What I just heard this time. Shall I read off the list? Can it, Blabby? I've been on a good streak for a while now. I haven't kidnapped you in how long? 4 days? LOL. From Junior. Bowser Jr.'s here. I like Bowser Jr. quite a bit, actually. Wahaha, you finally admit how awesome and amazing my skills are. I've already had my fill of terrible analog soy horror with the Batman analog horror. I don't even know. I don't even want to know what that one's like. Yeah, talk to me when you find good analog horror. There's already enough crap as it is. Or I'll play. Let me gather my platoon to up the horror of this floor of this party. I'm sorry, but that's against the rules. There are rules. I'm supposed to know that. Sorry if I may interject. You have the floor. Do I? Do I have the floor? Do I? Yes, you do. Marie to the prince for bedtime. Hand it over. That thing. Your dark soul. Only up to 6 captured. It explains here. Lacey's Games is really good. They even made a game based on it. From Software is very... This is random. From Software is very sadistic in their game design. But I think the wrong thing other games take away is that they channel that sadism only in combat. And I was watching the Donkey Dark Souls 3 video because I was feeling nostalgic. And I remember that one section where you're fighting the giant. And he's like you know, sweeping at you. And there's this little... concave, this little area that you can go into that appears that he can't quite reach inside there, but if you stay there for long enough he will reach inside there and hit you. And that's very trolly, but also it's like it's unique and funny, and like, and I feel like it kind of rewards you in a sense. You know, because the game that it wasn't it like respected your intelligence, so to speak. Like the game expected you to come up with a solution and worked around that. And I guess it's still kind of evil, yeah. And I guess some people will probably get mad because they'd be like, "Well, then I'll never do something smart like that ever again." But still, like, it like, you know, it treated you like an actual player in an adventure, and it was cute, it was cool, and at the very least, it does work at first. Like he won't hit you there at first, but it's funny. For Mario, I'm going to make an example out of you. Be careful, bro. I thought you meant like having a stupid and confusing upgrade system like DS1. No, that's just game. That's just old game design. Should you Goomba? Actually, one I enjoyed, even with a somewhat bad twist, was the Interloper. I really like how it's presented as a real community hunt instead of the scary encounter of the supernatural. The Interloper. Is that on YouTube? Who's Toady? Oh, it's him. Sounds pretty good. Everyone's faster than me. I was actually, if this channel, if I could ever take off a little attention off this channel, I'd want to make a horror channel. Cause I have some cute ideas, and it'd be an easy way to channel all my world building ideas. It'd be very community orientated. The idea is just that, like, the channel is someone exploring something, and he'll do what the comments suggest to exploring that world. Like the comment will be like, try to find like the North Star or some shit, and go follow down the river, and then I'll make the video based on that. Based on a couple ideas more. Like someone says like go down the river, someone else says like, oh, like try to like find out what this does, and the person is like, what did this do? While also having the character in the videos like think for himself like what to do in the situation, and then he'll take suggestions. Flying psychic type? Oh, we're speed tied. What? No more playing fair. Eat. Oh man. Oh wait. If I use self-destruct, that means Bubba, I can't use Bubba anymore. Lol. And who cares? I'll keep doing what I want with him. He's a bomb. He's a bomb. I like canned pixel backrooms. Dude, what the internet did to the backrooms? Holy mother of God. Since Kamek knows this game by the book already, he's going to be my cap challenge tactician. This isn't the last you've seen of me. Mark my words, your wish will be mine. Peach. Baha, Kamek, lift yourself off the floor. You got scheming to do. Yes, my liege. Goodbye. Toad's worse? Yes, Princess. Junior? Princess, this party with a hastened effort along with the desire to include Bowser and Kamek. Let's have a discussion about that later. Don't worry, Princess, we'll get the power stars before Bowser does. I know you both will, which reminds me, you still need the power star from the Mushroom Kingdom. There's only one more battle you need to win. Get the one. That's right, you hold the Mushroom Kingdom power star. I only fight one of you at a time, so decide who wants to tell me first. Thank you. Thank you, good sir. Princess Peach. Can we capture her? Wow, wow, wow. Bam, bam, bam. Bum, 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 bum. You're a quick learner, Mario. Baby Yoshi? What the fuck? What the hell is even that? You did something about analog horror and memes earlier, which reminds me the creator and Mandela catalog made a parody of an called Scrimlow catalog. AC Games was terrible. It tries so hard to be edgy, but just comes off as cringy. Tumblr Trauma Jump Core. I found called I Can't Sleep around the same time as Lazy Games. That was creepy. I remember my brother found one he really liked. That was like actual gore. I heard some people talk about that one. Damn, Yoshi's Baby Yoshi can't be real Yoshi. Uh-oh. La 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 la. Fuck you! We can win this. Come on, Geodude! We lost. Geodude, you fucking... I gotta do this by myself. I gotta do it myself. I love I Can Sleep. Urban Spook the Painter is pretty bad, but I like it for what it is. Who wins, Baby Yoshi or Baby Gronk rizzed up? Me as a baby. No, I think Baby Yoda wins. If the painter didn't have Diddy Ablet problematic scenes, analog horror fans would be praising it. I'm back. Welcome back, Adam. Where were you? We're talking about horror content. Oh, sorry, I broke my Nuzlocke rules because I cannot be bothered. These are the same people who think the Watson Files and Godzilla Analog Horror are masterpieces. You're telling me there's already a Godzilla Analog Horror? People were like, the Godzilla Analog Horror would be so good. And I'm like, you're right, it would be so cool. You know? But what I'm hearing is true, what the birdies are saying. Even without the kitty stuff, the story... the story and the way it's presented is still pretty bad. There's 3 Godzilla Analog Horrors. I rarely watch horror stuff. You don't like it or you think it's too scary? How do I lose? I'm supposed to protect you, Princess Peach. I watched some Godzilla, I thought it was. I need to be in the mood that usually lasts for just 2 weeks. Motivate higher level teammates. On top of that, I'd like to give you something that could help your team out. That dig? Cool. Training module. I feel like Pokemon used to be really into sci-fi. And they kind of abandoned that like after 4. And right now they're kind of mixing more fantasy. By the way, did you watch the shoujo manga vid? No. I haven't watched later. I was really busy yesterday. I have one more thing for you. Hold on just a moment. Here, Mario. Take the Yoshi egg. I have faith that you'll raise him well. Yes! I'm glad I finally found a 100 shoujo manga recommendation list because the thing about Danadan's manga kind of inspired me. The capture system. Okay, Legion, now your turn. Are you ready? Ready to ever be princess? Bye. Oh. Okay, I screenshotted a lot of them and I narrowed them interest down to 12. Names? Are you at least gonna read the classics like Nana? Actually, wasn't Nana Jose? I don't think I like any shoujo manga. Or that I've read any. I like some of the anime. Nana's not in my 12. That's fucked up, bruh. Was it in the video? Boo! Oh, damn it. And you didn't put it? Bro. Trust me, Adam. That's like top tier writing. Not it costs too much at the store. Oh yeah. Forget you're a physical reader. Forever Cucked? Hey Greg, what horse stuff do you like? Tough question. A long-tongued spirit inhabits long abandoned homes and corner stores. It vanishes and looked at, seeing one is something to brag about. I don't know if I have favorite horror stuff. I like watching all the slop. A lot of those found footage videos. I guess I like folklore mythology. I like all the stuff you find in like Mothman, Chupacabra, La Llorona. Like the Mexican folklore, the American folklore. Folklore for everything. Let's see. In terms of like horror videos, what did I like? There's some horror stuff I watched. I like found footage stuff. Like Blair Witch. And As Above, So Below. Those movies. I haven't watched them in a long time though, but I like them. They left a profound impact on me. It's funny that the kid who made the OG Godzilla analog horror stopped being. I also watched Cloverfield when I was young. I don't think I finished it, but I liked it. Funny that the kid who made the OG Godzilla analog horror stopped because the Godzilla com was really toxic and moved on to a different franchise that's pretty infamous for being toxic. I'm looking for below $9 per volume. I love fan footage and folklore horror. You gotta get my evil twin. You know what's up, Solius. There's a skinwalker outside my window. Yeah. I like skinwalker stuff. I like that skinwalker is I mean, I think it exists in multiple folklore, but the one people use, the pop one people use is mainly based off of Native American ones. I like the rules they make up, you know, like if you hear a wolf outside, don't actually, you know, look outside the window and shit like that. The Girl Night manga from Tezuka is in my 12, but because it's apparently very progressive and conservative at the same time. That's Japan for you. Nothing to do here. What happened to Luigi? Did he lose? But in my case, I really love horror interpretation of European folklore, such as witches eating kids or trickster gods starving hikers. Yeah, I like it from all regions. I'm just more familiar with obviously the ones in my regions. I do like I'm really, yeah, like I remember when I was in a I had a class about children's stories, and I was really into like the dreamy feel of all the older stories, like the Hansel, like the OG Hansel and Gretel. I really like that one. I made one kind of based off of it. I don't know if I can find it. Fuck. Like Japanese horror gets me too. Get me though for some reason. Gets me though for some reason. Dude, as a kid, I was so scared of that shit. That reminds me of this one movie that really got to me. Shall I send you the screenshot? I didn't probably try it from within though. Yeah, I want to see. I made a presentation about skinwalking in 6th grade. Fucking kid, especially about the Navajo tribe who created the whole skinwalker legend. There's this movie, I don't know what it's called, but it's these like kids that they keep going to different Japanese horror ones. And you know all those rules about like if you see that lady who like has like chopped up face, and like you have to tell her if she asks you are am I pretty, you can't say yes or no. You have to say I don't know, let me think, to confuse her and run away. This fucking game is so loud. So there's this one scene where they're so like they're running into so many monsters, and they run into this kid, this creepy ass kid, who goes up to them and is like, "Hey, can you help me find my report card?" And then the guy fucking pushes that kid into the wall, and the kid starts crying, and it's like really creepy. I don't remember the whole story, but the point is that it's like you never really find out if that kid is like a ghost or if he was just a regular kid. Cause it's like 11 p.m. in the subway, and there's some kid asking for their report card, and for all intents and purposes he reacts like a normal kid, and like that scene really stuck with me. It's like I watched that when I was like 9, and ever since then I'm just like, wow, it's such a good scene, like such a cool concept. Where do I go, game? Why Mario? Finally! I can play the game mindlessly. The PSS? Capture Storage Network. Okay. Bye bye. Oh no, never mind. You know the game World of Horror? Yeah. I got a bunch of edits, but I knew about it since the beginning. Whoa. Boom, boom. No, I regret it. I regret what I did. I need more Pokemon balls. I want a fucking burger so badly. I'm so fucking. I need a Carl's Jr. burger with guacamole, bacon, and 2 patties, and a side of Crisco fries with ranch. Fuck! I already used $8 today. I just forgot. Maybe I should walk there. It's a 50-minute walk. But I'm so hungry. I'm so fucking hungry. Yeah. There was a Japanese urban legend about like a mirror that kills you on your 20th birthday, and it got to me so much when I was a kid that I was still thinking about it when I was turning 20. Yeah. Those are the good ones. El Clásicos. Like, I still will not say Bloody Mary in front of a mirror in the dark. It just goes against every grain in my body. That was a big one here over here. Where the hell do I go next? Uh-oh. Mario over here. This year told that she's in charge of a Town Battle School. Bobby. Have either of you guys watched the Lost Art of Souls-like videos by Matosis? Let's see. No, it's a really good video. It gets like when I first watched it, I disagreed with some of it, but the more time passes, the more I agree with it. Even though I still disagree with even though I still like more Souls games than Matosis does. Souls. How long is this video? I'm pulling it up right now because I need to eat something. Which game does he dislike? Hold on. He dislikes pretty much everything after DS1. I mean, he still enjoys the games, but he has further and further disdain for them. Because he doesn't think they should be action centered. And that comes from the fact that he thinks the Dark Souls games have bad combat systems, and that they obviously they don't compare to his favorite games, because he's a hack and slash fan. He likes Demon's Souls and Bayonetta, and like I can get behind that opinion. I usually have it on my watch later list, but I think it's the guy that made the bad counter video to H-Bomber's DS2 defense, so I don't trust it. Sorry, I sent every screenshot individually. The browser version of my Twitter doesn't work better. I like it in a bit. Oh yeah, their comment systems are terrible. I don't think he replied to H-Bomber. I think he made like the OG like video bad. Let's see. Recommend Devil May Cry, Dark Souls commentary, Dark Souls 2 critique, 11 years old, Shadow of the Colossus retrospective. Let's see. Also, always been a proponent of exploration in Common Souls.
It's a game in the series that needs no introduction, so I haven't bothered to write one. Instead, I'm going to get straight to the point. As much as these games have been revered and discussed to death, it seems to me as though the actual origin of the series has all but been forgotten.
Anyways, Domo 3000 does the great videos about DS2 and counters to bad DS2 critics. The only problem with DS2 is the movement. It's fucked up shit. Character barely moves how you want it to.
And I don't just mean by the community. Many of the merits
among other things
of Demon's Souls have faded away in the following entries, starting even as early as the original Dark Souls. After Demon's Souls was a surprise hit, FromSoft set out to make it again, only this time...
This is probably kind of quiet, isn't it? Because it's like okay audio to me.
Better. In many ways, Dark Souls was an ambitious sequel. The world was much larger and interconnected, which added a whole new satisfaction to exploration. The inability to warp from one area to another forced players into lengthy journeys, giving the game a sense of isolated adventure that even Demon's Souls couldn't offer. The animations were more polished, with even more of that satisfying weight that the series is known for. There were a bunch of refinements to the formula, like Estus, which removed potential downtime and helped balance out the challenge. It even had a few completely new mechanics of its own, like Covenants. I think it's a great sequel, and judging by its phenomenal success, it seems that many other people agree. There is one important...
I can boil it all down for you. Do people say DS1 is like an immersion sim, or am I making that up? Some people say that. I'm not a big fan of that idea of calling games immersive sims. I kind of spoke a little bit about it in my Fear and Hunger video. It makes me mad. Makes me want to punch some children. Anything beyond DS1 lacks the dungeon crawler gun genes, but nobody knows dungeon crawlers, so they make sense to describe what they don't know.
Important caveat though, it's not innovative. Many of the notable features that people assign to Dark Souls originated in Demon Souls and were simply brought across because they worked last time. The goal of Dark Souls wasn't innovation, it was refinement. FromSoft already had a formula that worked, and they set out to exploit that fact. This is what really sets Demon Souls apart from the rest of the series. Early in its development, the project was assumed by many in FromSoft to already be a failure. Maybe a demoralizing way to think, but also liberating in a sense. That assumption is the main reason why director Hidetaka Miyazaki was able to take control of the project, and why he and his team were able to implement some, at the time, bizarre features. With Demon Souls, there was a sense that the developers were just doing whatever the hell they wanted, playing with conventions and trying new features out with little care about how appealing they would be to a mass audience. World Tendency is a perfect example of this. Some developers believe that dynamic difficulty tuning is the correct way to build their games, and even games in general. This method of design has been gaining traction.
Hold on, I gotta do math. Calculating how much I can spend. 5 weeks times 7. That's 45. No, I'm stupid. That's 35 days. Let's say 40. I can spend $24 a day. But I actually have 300. Actually have 500 extra dollars. So fuck it. I'm getting cars. I'm getting Big Burger.
Given its success, it can be found in subtle forms in many mainstream games today. Other people, like myself, prefer when a game is consistently difficult, so there's a more genuine sense of satisfaction when you finally overcome the challenge at hand. Demon Souls turns its back on both of those ideas and cuts your health in half as soon as you die. As if that isn't enough, repeated deaths will increase enemy stats and eventually spawn additional Black Phantoms to make the stage even tougher. Now you might think this is a poor mechanic. There are some very sound, logical arguments against it. I'm not saying that every game should work this way, but hopefully you can understand that I find this refreshing for the simple fact that it's different from everything else. This, for me at least, was the real appeal of Demon Souls. Time and again, they threw out the rulebook and just did whatever they felt like. Conventional wisdom says that struggling players should be offered a helping hand, not pushed down a well. Conventional wisdom says that a boss should be killed by the player, not themselves. Conventional wisdom says that secrets should be secret, not pointed out by someone else. Conventional wisdom says that important NPCs and vendors are off limits, not murdered while the player isn't looking. Conventional wisdom says that the final boss should be an epic showdown, a test of the player's skills, not a pathetic, harmless blob.
This is what I mean by like variety, you know. I want to go a little bit in the Kazan video, but it's not scripted. I don't trust her voice. You hate Irish people? I can also send like 3 other DS videos I trust much more. This isn't specifically about Demon Souls. This is about the Dark Souls franchise in general. And I think it's true to an extent. Like they become less, I don't know, creative, innovative. That's the word he likes to use.
It's the boss fights that stick out the most, with 4 of the 5 archdemons clearly being designed to provide a memorable experience above all else. Even False King Allant, the most traditional of the 5, has an incredibly punishing grab which actually de-levels the player character, something
I have a friend who hates this video.
Since. This kind of experimentation doesn't always work. There's not many people out there who'll defend the encounter with the Dragon God, but an occasional failure is to be expected if a game is stepping outside the norm so much. To me, an anticlimactic non-boss like Maiden Astraea has just as much value, if not more,
I watch enough Irish people, but this guy sounds brown-nosed,
than something more traditional like Flame Lurker. There are other games I can play if I want a Flame Lurker-esque experience,
like he shifts those from art too often.
but only one game
I do
has
that.
Maiden Astraea. Later entries in the series, including the original Dark Souls, have largely done away with those weird boss fights, to the detriment of the overall experience. To understand why this is a bad thing, we have to confront a hard truth that few people seem to want to face about the Souls games, including FromSoft themselves, but here it is. The combat is nothing remarkable. Before you get your codpiece in a twist, keep in mind that doesn't equate to mediocre gameplay. As a whole, it's hugely elevated by generally great level design, player freedom, loadout options, and some unique supplemental mechanics like World Tendency, Covenants, and Insight. The stamina system puts other action RPGs to shame.
I'll be back later. No, you're supposed to watch the video.
The animations are great and
Lonely.
the controls are tight, but in terms of actual complexity, there's
I
not much
genuinely
going
can't
on.
stand the voice. That's
There's
crazy.
not much depth, and that wouldn't be a problem, except that the series has increasingly leaned on its action elements more and more as time has gone by. Bloodborne is the clearest example of this so far. The player character's starting stamina is generous, and it's easy to level up every useful stat for your build with no meaningful trade-offs whatsoever. At this point, stats mainly exist so
I.e. can't engage with the argument. Oh. Thick burn.
struggling players can grind out an advantage and carry on, the kind of self-controlled dynamic difficulty the series excels at. To put it simply, Bloodborne is more action, less RPG. Unfortunately, even with the addition of trick weapons, there's still a case to be made that overall the combat doesn't even have depth exceeding basic action games. If you're a staunch defender of the series, this is where you might be tempted to rattle off all the different attack animations your favourite weapon has. After all, there's two-handed attacks, jumping attacks, running attacks, charged attacks, transformation attacks, and probably more.
I think the only problem with his viewpoint, I get what he's saying, is that like combat is more than just you. Combat is the enemy, and like the one of the big video I'm gonna make is the fact about different action games have the complexity lie in different sides. Like obviously hack and slash games have the complexity lie on your side. The Souls games have the complexity lie on the enemy side, and like a multiplayer game, like a fucking fighting game or a shooter, has the complexity on both sides.
It's true that there are differences in range and damage, but the effect on the enemy is usually
What game do you guys think has complexity on neither side?
identical. They lose some
Minecraft.
health, possibly suffer some hit stun, which either lasts long enough to get another attack in, or it doesn't, in which case you go back on the defensive until your next opening. Positioning is important, but that's about the extent of it. If anything, Bloodborne actually has less depth than any other game in the series because shields are disincentivized and unable to parry, making the two things mutually exclusive when players used to be able to do both without having to swap between them. The magic
I'm real bad at
implementation is
Bloodborne.
also quite bare bones, and it even lacks a kick option, although that would be irrelevant anyway since so few enemies have a defensive stance. At the end of the day, your options generally boil down to a low-cost light attack, a high-cost heavy attack, and a ranged option of some sort, be it a spell, an item, a bow, or a gun. Apart from destroying the grounded aesthetic these games are or were known for, the weapon arts of Dark Souls 3 are kind of a step in the right direction, but the synergy between all these things is practically non-existent. For example, there's few spells that allow you to set up an enemy for an interesting melee attack and vice versa. In terms of defensive options, the series is a lot better, with the ability to block, parry, or dodge most regular attacks. These go a long way.
I get how weapon skills like kind of remove the groundedness, but also a lot of like unique weapons in Dark Souls 1 and Demon Souls had unique movesets, like unique moves you can use. And they're kind of just building off of that system, that idea. Like how the Black Knight Greatsword in Dark Souls 1, if you use the heavy attack, you'll launch people upward. And how like all the boss weapons have like special heavy attacks. And instead they just made it so that you have a normal heavy attack and then you have the special attack tied to a different button.
During regular combat encounters, but unfortunately against bosses, parrying is often completely impossible and blocking is often ill-advised, which leaves you with rolling as your one and only defensive action.
Also, that Tail didn't mention, like blocking in most games suck ass. That's something I kind of like in Neo, even though it doesn't like work incredibly well. And then Neo, your blocking is actually good. Like it's still not like a big crutch, but like if you block, you can block more than like one big attack. And you can usually like attack afterwards.
So prepare to roll again and again and again and again and again. When you're not rolling, you'll generally be getting 1 to 2 hits in with whatever weapon you choose. Hits that usually
Sekiro
provoke no
block.
response from the boss whatsoever, making
Yeah,
every weapon
kind of.
basically the same thing apart from whatever damage types and numbers it has. That's not to say that bosses like this can't be good. They can be. At their worst, they're camera eating.
I will say that I don't mind the dodging a lot. I also don't mind parrying a lot. But there's a lot of there's a surprisingly a large amount of people that don't like the Souls games because there's too much dodging, but like Sekiro, and they feel like they can do more in Sekiro. But I think they're just failing to articulate what they really mean, because like you're doing the same thing. You're either spamming dodge or spamming deflect. Pretty sure. I'm pretty sure to them they just feel like they feel like they have more agency with deflect. Whereas for dodging, they feel like they're on the defensive, and they don't like that, even though it's really the same thing. Maybe it's just because deflect is also semi-offensive because you build up the posture bar.
Monstrosities with infinite stamina.
But I see them both as the same
cancel
thing.
their recovery animations and have nonsensical tracking, but at their best, they're fair, challenging, and have great presentation. False King Alant is a great boss, so are Artorias, Ludwig, and Sister Fried, among many others FromSoft have put together over the years, but they're also undeniably samey. You go in, you learn the moveset, maybe you die a few times along the way until you know the boss's moves like the back of your hand, then you dodge past them, punish at the right times, and win the battle. It's perfectly serviceable gameplay, but doing it 20 times in one game is just excessive. This has been the go-to boss design philosophy for FromSoft ever since Artorias of the Abyss, and fights have only gotten more shonen anime over time. To be clear, there's absolutely nothing wrong with simple combat mechanics. I'm not saying you should be able to juggle hollows or anything, but if the game is going to be so relentlessly focused on action, then I have fewer reasons not to just play a better action game instead. What I can't get elsewhere are the memorable experiences that Demon Souls presented by taking risks. The Archdemons are the clearest example of that, but even its more traditional boss fights serve a greater purpose. Demon Souls' greatest strength is how it pulls you into its bleak, dangerous world so that
I love this font. Whatever happened to unique fonts? That's the biggest problem I had with Elden Ring, is that the UI is the most boring they've had yet. Like, I love every Souls game UI. Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Bloodborne, Sekiro, Dark Souls 3. Beautiful shit. And then Elden Ring comes in and it's like modernized with vagaries of yellow. And I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Think about situations.
Is this argument that Souls combat is too basic? I think that's the whole appeal.
You would if you were
It's not that it's too basic. Is that because because the game's focused too much on combat, even though it is basic?
There. This is something that the Souls games continue to do kind of
It's funny to me that in Elden Ring, the smaller basic spells are usually better than the bigger showy ones.
well, but Demon Souls still
True.
does it the best of them all, because excluding the innovative online features, almost everything else works in service of that larger goal. Phalanx, Leechmonger, Tower Knight, Fool's Idol, Old Hero, Maneaters, and Armor Spider all have quirks to their design or their arena that the player can exploit if they figure out. You don't outright win by doing so, but you gain a big advantage if you're willing to use your brain. It's a deceptively simple concept. Thinking about how to survive a boss by using clever tactics is exactly what a real adventurer would do. In a sense, the battle happens just as much outside the fog door as inside.
Epic immersive
Because
sim.
of that, the mindset of the character and the player align in such a way that it pulls the player further into the experience. On the other hand, dodging telegraphed attacks, which come out in predefined combos, is just exploiting your knowledge that the AI is acting within the constraints of a computer game. This has the opposite effect. It widens the gap between the character and the player. Most elements of Demon Souls can be viewed through this same lens. The environments are filled with difficult encounters, traps, and ambushes, not just for their own sake, but to encourage a slow, methodical approach to exploration. This contrasts with the blasé way most protagonists throw themselves into dangerous situations. In reality, people tend to act more cautiously when they have a chance of being brutally murdered, so those punishing mechanics encourage you to think and behave that way. Perpetually autosaving over a single save file reinforces this as well. Even a trivial choice can feel like it has serious consequences because it's irreversible, just like real life. Of course, these elements work better the more unknowns you go.
What's an example of From Software taking a risk and then refining it in future game, besides frame rate? I like how Demon Souls looks.
Up against. In other words, the element of surprise is pretty important.
It still barely works, but people like it.
Felt like venturing into the unknown, not because it was narratively unpredictable, but because it was mechanically unpredictable. Even once you got used to the Soul series features, which
I don't remember the last time they made a risk outside of Daracene.
It still
maybe that's why I like it so much.
Curveballs at you on a regular basis. Lack of careful observation was punished. NPCs weren't always what they appeared to be. Bosses often had unique mechanics, and even the environments could be polar opposites of each other. Try one Archstone and you'll end up in the claustrophobic halls of Latria.
Adding a dog water open world.
Try the other and you're headed towards a sprawling poison swamp. Incidentally, while you're spending so much time scanning the scenery for suspicious areas, you can't help but realize that the
Maybe the
environments
next
are
one will be
actually
good.
built a lot like real places, much more so than any other game in this series. Shortcuts aren't just inexplicably one-sided gates or needlessly complex elevators, they're blockades to keep intruders out or mechanisms for transporting materials. This is half the point of shortcuts in the
Please don't rage bait me, Solius. But Adam, you didn't like the you weren't big on Elden Ring either. Or more like you also are of the opinion that it probably doesn't work as well.
first place. They're a way of presenting checkpoints without making the world seem like it was built just for your convenience. After picking up on those environmental details, you might go on to notice that the enemy design and item placements have also been carefully considered to suit the
No, it's coming about me leaving. Yeah. Just a little bit of banter on a Thursday evening for you guys. Dog water open world, and it's still better than most open worlds. True, but not saying much.
area in question. What might not even occur to you is how sparse the cutscenes are, keeping interruptions to a minimum, or that the sound design could be described as minimalist as well. Most of what you hear as you wander through the stages is completely diegetic. Even death and resurrection are contextualized by the Nexus, weakening the barrier between the player and the game. By this point, the biggest thing standing between you and Boletaria are the loading screens. The word I've been avoiding is immersion, but hopefully now that I've explained it, you can see that's what it is. Demon's Souls' greatest strength is its immersive quality. That alone would be enough to make it a pretty good game, but what puts it over the top is the way it capitalizes on that immersion by throwing the player into a variety of situations which they can now experience as a first-hand participant. Patch's trickery, the imposing mind flayers, Yurt's betrayal, among many others. All these things hit harder because the game does so much work establishing itself beforehand. The rest of the series has thoughtlessly replicated many ideas from Demon's Souls, which often defeats the purpose and occasionally completely misses the point. The first time you have to make your way through a poison swamp, it's a new and interesting challenge. It gets your guard up, you have to think about your situation and make sure you have suitable equipment on hand. After 5 games in a row, it's become a predictable, tiresome routine. Even though it's the exact same thing mechanically, it now pulls you out of the game rather than in.
Yeah.
As bad as that is, there's few things worse
I
than
did like Dark Souls 3
designers'
Swamp
botched
though.
traps and ambushes. One of the most disappointing examples is the giant archer in the Undead Settlement. You can see this situation coming a mile away, so when you finally arrive at the field of giant arrows, it's obvious you need to think about your approach first. For a brief moment, this mimics the best of Demon's Souls. You're there, as an adventurer, trying to decide how to overcome a difficult situation. You even have as much time to think about it as you like. The most reasonable line of thought is that the arrow will have a certain amount of travel time, so if you change direction after you hear the shot, you'll be safe. Wrong. The arrow magically curves in mid-air because this is no longer a series where you outsmart your opponents, it's a series where you press the roll button at the right time.
Ooh,
to be fair to the later
burn.
games, it's important to point out that flashes of Demon's Souls style brilliance do show through from time to time, and it's telling that they're often some of the most memorable moments in their respective games.
True.
Intentionally turning the Sith fight into an anticlimax is far more impactful than just letting it play out normally. This is especially funny to look back on now that the series seems obsessed with multi-phase bosses that get stronger after you smack them around a bit. The reality is, when you slash a big wolf creature enough times, it has trouble standing up. Rather than let you feel like a big man all the time, Dark Souls tried to remind you of the grim reality, and it worked. I assume that most people enjoy Sif anyway because you get a pretty normal fight at the start, so how about I give you a genuinely unpopular opinion? My favourite boss in Bloodborne isn't Garmin or Ludwig or the Orphan, it's this mad bastard. Mikolash feels like a boss for people who enjoy Demon's Souls because he does something a boss isn't supposed to. He runs away. Trying to catch him while he flees and
Ironic. All bosses, all. Maybe he would like the Kazan bosses and slaps knee. Oh, it's better than Far Cry 6 copying the same map from 10 years ago. Impressive Elden Ring. Game Award now. I wasn't defending ER. I'm just saying it's funny. I'm funny.
Like a nutcase is unlike anything else in the entire series. This is made all the better by the way Bloodborne firmly establishes itself as a grim game. The Nightmare of Mensis is an imposing place, but at the same time there's something vaguely comedic about Mikolash's cowardly behaviour. It's not done just for the sake of it though. If anything, it would be disappointing if such a Lovecraftian game didn't have a fight against a mad scholar. It comes together well, and again, it's something I can't quite get elsewhere, which isn't to say that it's good just because it's different, but that certainly helps. In a 2009
That's important. That's an important phrase. I don't like it just because it's different, but it does help. You know, I mean, I'm a bit more obsessed with novelty right now because I'm experiencing so many new things. I'm so young, but you know, like at the end of the day, the best thing the convergence mod does for Elden Ring is that it essentially splits the open world into a bunch of more traditional linear paths based on your choice of starting class.
interview about Demon Souls, Miyazaki
I need to play
himself
that.
said, "When designing the bosses, I made sure that they would be varied and exciting. I prepared different gameplay and strategies for each one so that players didn't get
Nowadays, these Souls like developers just think varying means different colors, different elements. So we have the fire boss, we have the ice boss, okay, and we have the poison boss. Yeah, they're all the same. They're all mages. They're all knights with swords. They're all beasts, but they have a different element.
tired of the same fight every time. We wanted to surprise players and encourage them to figure out different tactics, to think on their feet. It's been the better part of a decade since that interview, so it's fully possible that Miyazaki has changed his mind since then, but it's still a quote that resonates with me at least. If the Dancer of the Boreal Valley had been in Demon Souls, I probably would have loved it. It has an intriguing visual design, and the unconventional attack animations present a good challenge. The reason I don't enjoy it is because it's in a game filled with bosses just like it. FromSoft have long since figured out that one way they can punish players who carelessly roll around all the time is to hold the anticipation
The end
phase
game of
attack
action game
animations for about
balancing.
half a second longer than you'd expect. They've completely abused this trick to the point where most bosses seem to have at least a few of those attacks, and even many basic enemies do as well. This could be a whole topic by itself, but rather than dwell on it, let's just focus on the fact that by the time you reach the Dancer, you've already had to adapt to a huge number of unconventional timings designed solely to catch you out. The thought of learning even more weird attack animations so I can roll and stab my way to victory yet again just isn't all that appealing anymore. I could point to many of the bosses in Dark Souls 3 and say that they're pretty good, but only in isolation. A great game is more than the sum of its parts.
Some of its
A little
parts.
restraint would go a long way, as has been proven in a few other instances. Most of us can probably agree that the reveal of Irithyll in Dark Souls 3 is one of its better moments. You emerge from the catacombs and see a beautiful, snow-covered landscape topped by a crescent moon. It's a
I'm
wonderful
sorry,
vista.
Jackie, right now.
One thing Miyazaki and I seem to have in common is a fondness for these kinds of snow areas. As much as I love them, and believe me, I do love them, I can still see that if the game had been nothing but snowy nighttime levels up to that point, the Irithyll reveal would have meant nothing. Just because it's my favourite kind of area doesn't
Elden Ring offsets this by making an ice level that's ugly as fuck.
mean I want the whole game
Subverts
to be
it.
like that. It's the surprise that makes it work. Another example would be Gwyn's theme in Dark Souls 1. You ask anyone who played Dark Souls and they'll list it as one of the most memorable tunes, but would it have been as good if the entire sound
This is actually top 5 game songs ever to me. I like it that much.
somber piano music? Of course not. It's the contrast with previous boss themes that makes it stand out. My point here is that even traditional boss fights stand to benefit by including others that don't fit into the same mold. When it's a foregone conclusion that every fight will be a dodge and punish affair, they lose their impact. Call it whatever you want. Restraint, pacing, surprise, variety, contrast. It's something
I call it
Souls has in
variety.
spades which the later games lack. Catering to a larger audience has simply sucked more and more soul out of the series. Players whine about gimmick boss fights, so bosses become basic combat encounters and nothing more. Players want honourable PvP so they can test their skills against each other in a shallow, laggy, min-maxing backstab magic spam fest instead of having fun with the things you can uniquely do in these games, like disguise yourself as an environmental doodad before kicking
true.
an unsuspecting player off a cliff. Never underestimate it.
If you want multiplayer battles, why are you going to Dark Souls games? Specifically, why you want fair? These people want to play fighting games, but they don't want to learn motion inputs, so they just come flying over
The
here.
community's ability to take a cool feature and use it for the most boring thing imaginable. Players want convenience so they can fast travel and respec their stats, removing absolutely any and all tension wherever possible, just like every other RPG from the past 10 years. At some point, you just start to wonder what's next on the chopping block. Maybe the next game will have a built-in function to back up your save files, so you don't have to think too hard about any of those pesky decisions. If current trends keep up, sooner or later all we'll be left with is a generic blob of a game, enjoyed by everyone and loved by no one. Of course, the players don't actually make the games. You can't blame the audience
Those
for the
people should
decisions
play
made
For
by the
Honor.
developers, but it's a stark difference going from assumed failure to subcultural phenomenon. Bloodborne was the game Sony banked on to push the PS4 into the hands of early adopters.
Speaking of fighting games, I was watching a bunch of
Kind of
Low Tier
financial
clips last
pressure
night.
is a
Everyone
proving
has been
ground for
watching them.
design by committee homogenization.
He
As
started
if this
tweeting on
wasn't
Twitter
frustrating
again.
enough, the real twist
This
of
is
life
what, his third time blowing up?
is that even though the series has started to stagnate, it hasn't even managed to carry many refinements from one entry to another. Problems are regularly solved in one game only to be undone in the next one. Demon's Souls remains the most non-linear entry in the series and still has by far the most believable environments. Dark Souls abandoned the health reduction penalty, which removed the incentive to open yourself up to invasion if you weren't going to summon. As bad as that was, at least it got the hollowing mechanic right by only allowing players to go human at the bonfire. In later games, players can wait until they're at the boss fog before opening themselves up to the online, making many invasions pointless. The interconnected world of Dark Souls 1 is still unmatched, with Dark Souls 3 being more or less a linear progression from one end of the game to the other. Yharnam is arguably the best, most intricate level design FromSoft have ever done, but it's squandered by the inclusion of fast travel from the start, same as both Dark Souls sequels. The resource management challenge of the Estus system was completely destroyed by Dark Souls 2, and while Bloodborne's Blood Vial setup is at least thematically appropriate, it's still mechanically inferior. New Game Plus is still bare bones, even though Dark Souls 2 showed that remixed enemy placements could provide a fresh experience. Bloodborne used charge attacks to fix backstabs without resorting to excessive enemy tracking, but then Dark Souls 3 abandoned the idea. Ashen Estus is my favourite addition in Dark Souls 3, but at this point I fully expect it to be inexplicably dropped. Next time around we'll probably be back to a weird Blood Vial setup or something equally disappointing. Keep in mind, these are just the problems FromSoft
was good, my
actually
green
bothered
Gex.
to address at some point. There's a whole host of issues that have never even been looked at. The camera is still atrocious when unlocked during combat because it does nothing and occupies the thumb you use to press the roll button. Lock-on still breaks during boss fights even though there's nobody else in the room, and the button still snaps the camera behind the player when it's not in range, with no option to disable it. I've played hundreds of hours of these games and I've never once actually wanted to use the button for that. Weapons still bounce off
For
walls,
challenge
even though enemies
runners.
glide right through, giving them an unfair advantage. Critical attacks still don't work properly on slopes. Input buffering is still overzealous and sometimes feels inconsistent, a minor annoyance in the early games but completely unacceptable for something the speed of Bloodborne or Dark Souls 3. Enemy pathfinding is still embarrassingly wonky, leading to exploitable or unpredictable movement patterns, and enemies can still be leashed, defeating the purpose of the entire combat system. If these games are going to be iterative sequels, at the very least they could be good at that, but they're not. 5 installments is more than enough time to figure out what makes these games good and iron out the kinks. Many other series have come a lot further in fewer tries. With all that said, it's finally time to take a shortcut back to my point from the beginning. Demon's Souls is one of those rare, genuinely innovative games that did enough new things its influence can be clearly felt on the gaming landscape of subsequent years. That originality
people just say
is
it's
one of
all
its
Dark
best
Souls.
qualities, but it would be unfair to expect every game FromSoft creates to be innovative. The more important thing about Demon's Souls is how cohesive it is. It's FromSoft,
So immersion equals fun.
free to pursue.
Saw someone who say who'd win when it races off Low Tier, or I have from
To an overarching design
Yes.
methodology, even if that results in some unpopular decisions. That's what I want for every game developer. Games are more interesting when they're unshackled by the expectations of a narrow-minded fanbase or the financial whims of a publisher. Right now, it feels as though these games have fallen victim to one or the other, maybe both. Whatever the cause, recreating the superficial elements of Demon's Souls isn't enough to make a truly great game by itself. It needs more. The magic of Demon's Souls lies under the surface. It's a culmination of ideas and concepts that work together in unity to accomplish something greater. That's not to say it's perfect. In fact, it seems pretty clear that it wasn't even finished before it was released, but the end result is a game that proves you can have it all. Haunting visuals, immersive environments, evocative sound design, satisfying gameplay, novel mechanics, intriguing storytelling, memorable characters, fun multiplayer, and a high level of replayability. They're not mutually exclusive goals. Games don't have to be one or the other. When you do it right, you can do it all. It may not be the best at any of those things, but what it offers instead is a complete package on a level that is arguably unmatched. Unfortunately, over
Arguably.
time, FromSoft decided to focus on some of those elements at the expense of others, and as a result, those games are more easily eclipsed by others which do those things better. Demon Souls still stands tall because it knows what it is. A demonic soul with a heart of gold.
That last line is ass. He still makes videos? Holy shit moly. So, anybody still watching? Thoughts on such an incredible video? I think they're right. Whoops. Even though I personally love Bloodborne and Sekiro. I think Sekiro, when Sekiro came out, he got mad. Not mad, but he was like, oh, more bullshit. More bullshit they don't know what to do with. Not even his point. What do you mean? I think showing that the guy could give him 5 aneurysm. Call of Duty. I know, but the combat thing. There you go. Yes, sir. Oh shit. So, what you think about the video? So Chuck was burnt. Wow. Rock polish. Whoa, Curtis. Uh-oh. Geo, dude, you're gonna have to take one to the team. I feel like From Software cuts out a lot of experimental stuff in the game so they don't repeat Demon Souls. But they don't mind repeating everything else. We're deed. Surely he doesn't have another one, right? How? How did he have another one? It's 5? I'm stuck with these bums. Yoshi was supposed to learn quick attack. Metal Claw? Uh... From Software is literally Ubisoft level at this point with their Dogwater new ER game. Elden Ring is literally DS5, but with less depth somehow. I think Ubisoft is a fair bit below. I think they have achieved a similar level of degradation. The gap between the best Assassin's Creeds and the worst ones are about as big as the best From Software games and the worst ones, modern ones. Before they, Miyazaki took over. How does that was 10 HP? No. Right, fellas. The deciding factor. Don't miss. I don't miss. You think Dustbloods will have another Ornstein and Smoke fight, or that really not as good as Ornstein and Smoke? That really not as good as... I hope not. Looks like they're barely gonna have boss fights. I am still a From Slopware defender, so... More like I still like their innovation. What little innovation they do, game to game. I just wonder when the next big 3D action game is gonna come in and be like, yeah, you know that 3D action game you guys all like? That's shit compared to what I'm doing. And then we're gonna slap the word like after their name. Ice level. Spiny. Wow, he has special defense. Hello. Of course I will learn Flame Charge. I'll have another Godskin, another Artorias, another 5 Apocalypse, and another Fire Apocalypse, another Sword Wolf, and you guessed it, another Black Maiden. I'm definitely excited about that last part. After years of experimental games that no one really cares about, FromSoft is finally tasting success with Souls-likes, and now it's all they can do. I need them to experiment again. So I'm saying I need them to do a first-person game. It will be glorious. I get the feeling these guys don't actually evolve. They've been facing success with Souls-likes ever since DS3. Since all of them, really. Dark Souls 2 still sold super well. Dark Souls 3 sold 12 million copies somehow. Grass. Is a rock type? Restia, you're dark. With the new AC, I hope they will be branching out more in a couple years. New Assassin's Creed? I mean Armored Core, after the trash fire that was fired the Rubicon, I'd rather they not. I thought Armored Core was good. Nowhere near as good as the other games. But good enough. Oh shit. Huh? I see. What the hell is even that? And then you say they should experiment more. I don't know if AC was experimentation. Definitely out of their comfort, but it's typical of most mech games. Holy moly. Bubble sweep. Bubble sweep, bubble sweep, bubble sweep. Fu? Wait, that's just his name the whole time? What a peculiar creature. It's just annoying that I feel like they're resting on their laurels. The problem with AC6 is that it wasn't experimental, yeah. It was literally Armored Souls 6. The game isn't just departure from AC5, it's a derivative of Souls-likes. It has its moments though. I would say that the balancing is ass, but that's how mecha fans seem to like their games, so that's just a me problem, I guess. Are you not a grass type? No, I meant to catch it. I'm just wasting time. I don't want to play AC Distance 4 and 5. Okay. I think I'm gonna end stream a little early today. This is just a break stream. Plus, I need to do the Kazam video before my roommate comes back. And I just ordered food. Thanks for watching, everyone. I think the game screen is a little small. Whatever. It's a fun stream, even though it's short.